Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look into Consumer Protection Act 2019. We all know that the 2019 Act has come replacing the 1986 Consumer Protection Act, and definitely a lot of new concepts have been added to the definition of consumer and within the purview of consumer rights and consumer protection. So definitely there is a need for us to look into it and understand the concepts thoroughly. Well, yes, let me ask you a question, by the way. Why do you study consumer laws? Hey, yeah, yes, we are compelled to study it because we have it for our CS, or we have to study it as a part of our law graduation, or we are law aspirants, or maybe we are doing MBA. Is it just so? Is it just so? No, the answer is that we all are consumers from our birth till our death. From cradle to grave, we are consumers. Yes, so we need to be more pertinent about our rights. Exactly. So, my dear friends, let us take a look into this Consumer Protection Act 2019. The first lecture would give you an idea on certain concepts. So, over to the slide. Well, yes, guys, the first concept that you're going to see is misleading advertisement. Oh, you on the TV, you put on the radio, whatever you put on, you take your social media, there are innumerous number of advertisement that pops up in your inbox or maybe in your television channel. When you watch a particular program, you see that almost 3/4 of the program goes in the ad. Yeah, the media makes a lot of money. Yeah. Yes, friends. So guess the role of media in today's world, the role of advertisement in today's world need no mention because we all know that today's business marketing extra is solely based on advertisements, and there is thoroughly fair and unfair competition in the advertising market. And we all remember that very ads that we have been watching from our childhood days. You keep a particular yantra in your house and then everything good will happen. Hey man, why don't you try this particular hair oil? You will regain your hair back in 15 days. Are you bothered about your body shape? Then you should be taking this particular product. We assure you, you would be losing 15 kgs in a month. Beautiful, right? Yeah, when I said about beauty, I should not be failing to forget to mention about beauty products, beauty creams, where a beautiful and confident Indian actress pops up on the screen saying that the secret of my beauty is this particular soap, this particular fairness product. The average Indian human being is fascinated, thrilled, and is adamant that he or she would try this. And then what happens is like almost quarter of the monthly income goes behind beauty products. And yes, you and me, we have been using beauty products for over years. I don't know, my skin is still wheatish brown. What about you? Yeah. And just forget our situation. Just think about those little people there who have had to face dire consequences of having skin diseases or allergic reactions, of running behind different products. We ourselves get confused because there's so much of scope. This particular oil, oh, this particular oil, which oil to use? And finally, you see that you end up having no hair on your head. Yes. So yes, definitely, there are a lot of ethics that advertisements have to be following. They should definitely not be misleading. And today we are going to see about what are the consequences of giving a misleading advertisement. So guys, first of all, to begin with, I would like to say that there is an authority named as a Central Consumer Protection Authority, which is empowered to give an imprisonment of 2 years and 10 lakh rupees for the first time of default. For habitual offenders, for repeated offenders, the central authority gives a punishment of 5 years and 50 lakh fine. 5 years imprisonment with 50 lakh fine. Now, is it just all? Does everything end there? No, man, that's just the beginning. So let's see what really happens. Before going into what really happens, there is a necessity for us to understand what do we mean by advertisement. What is advertisement? As per the Act, yes, Section 2, Clause 1 of the Consumer Protection Act says about advertisement. Now, when we say it is a misleading advertisement, you definitely need to know what is an advertisement, right? So Section 2, Clause 1 gives you an idea as to advertisement. Now you have to look into what exactly are the mediums through which the advertisement is propagated. We have audio-visual representation, we have endorsement, and we have pronouncement. Now, what are all these? Audio, you use your ears, right? Anything that helps you hear through your ear, you hear things through the radio, you watch advertisements through the TV screen, or maybe through your laptop, your iPad, your personal computer, whatever. And you see it through representation. Yes, this is a wide term. It could be any form of representation, even it could be signs and signals. It could be representation on an LED board. It could be representation that somebody communicates with no words. And the next is endorsement. I endorse this product to be super. Yes, brand ambassador. When you have people, when you have celebrities endorsing products, definitely that too comes under advertisement. Somebody tells you like, I really believe in this and it is my personal experience. You tend to believe them, right? And the next one is pronouncement. If somebody pronounces, hey man, this is cool, this is superb, you should try it, you should buy it. Yes. So all this comes under the different forms of advertisement. Advertisement could be in the audio form, visual form, representation form, endorsement form, and pronouncement forms. Please remember these: audio, visual, representation, endorsement, and pronouncement. Okay. Now, we can use different medium for communicating our advertisement. Now, all this is mentioned in your section 2 of the Act, 2 clause 1. Yes, the medium of light can be used to communicate your advertisement. The medium of smoke, gas, print, electronic, internet or website. So what was it? Light, smoke, gas, print, electronic, and internet or website. Well, yes, guys. So we can use all these mediums. You can use the medium of light, gas, smoke, print. Yes, print, newspapers or whatever. Electronic medium and the internet or the website. So you have 6 mediums through which this advertisement is propagated. Now, I hope you will remember this. There are 6 of the words. Light is a medium. We know that. Smoke is a medium. Yes, of late we see it in our recent movies. Gas is a medium. Print is a medium. Electronic is a medium. And definitely internet and website is also a medium. Now, in what form can you see this advertisement? You can see into the form of notice. Somebody gives you a notice, like when you enter a particular mall or you enter a particular shopping complex, there are people standing outside giving you notices. Yes, you receive circulars. Then definitely look at your Nutella bottle. Almost every product that we buy has labels. And definitely the label has to contain informations of what are the contents in the bottle, the net weight, the quantity, etc. Then we have wrappers, chocolate wrappers, biscuit wrappers. Yes, invoice, your mails. You have advertisements coming to you in the form of spams, mails, and other documents. So it comes in the form of notice, circular, label, wrapper, invoice, other documents. Okay, my dear friends, then what about a wall writing? Will it come under the definition of advertisement? Somebody paints something on the wall, writes something on the wall. What do you think? Well, yes, guys, that too would come under the definition of misleading advertisement. However, the Act mentions no specific mention of the same. But if you look into the government portal, http gamma.gov.in, it is a government site wherein misleading advertisement can be complained against. So if you think you saw a misleading advertisement, maybe you saw a wall painting or you saw something written on the wall or you saw anything in these particular forms, you can definitely click a pic, take a video, etc. Go and register your complaint there and you can upload this video or photo and keep tracking yourself through this particular site. So even though the Act specifically does not mention about wall posters, wall painting, but that is also included under this. Or maybe like you can say notice, circular, all that. You also have these particular advertisements put up on posters, on walls, or say the light posts, right? Electric post, yeah, etc. Even though that is prohibited these days, but still people still resort to advertisements in those forms also. Now, guys, we saw advertisement. Now, what is misleading advertisement? What would you be calling as misleading advertisement? Misleading advertisement is something. Hey, guys, so we need to know what exactly is misleading advertisement. क्या करेगा तो misleading advertisement हो जाता है, ये पता लगाना बहुत जरूरत है. So let's take a look into what exactly is misleading advertisement. If somebody gives a false guarantee to something, we ourselves are not sure whether it will work, but we simply keep saying, "Arey yaar, you just try and see this, sure result hai." So giving false guarantee. The second is you're going to mislead somebody with regard to the nature, substance, quantity, quality of such product or service. You know that this is not a particular product that is going to work and you still stand guarantee for it. Or you're misleading people with regard to the nature, substance, quantity, or quality. Please do remember those four terms. If you mislead somebody with regard to the nature, this is this kind of a thing. This is this kind of a substance. Oh, itna quantity hai, itna quality hai. And if that is wrong, then you're liable. So basically, if you give false guarantee for a product, if you misguide or mislead somebody with regard to the nature, substance, quantity, and quality of a substance. The next is falsely describing product or service. Yes, we know this does not belong to this particular company. We know this is not insured by that company. but still we simply describe. And well, my dear friends, we should not be failing to remember that consumer is not just a person who buys or avails a product, but also service. So if you give a false guarantee with regard to the quality of some particular service, oh wow, wow, बहुत अच्छा service है. And if you mislead the consumers as to nature, substance, quantity, or quality, then you are punished. Similarly, falsely describing any product or service. Now, if you know something which is very crucial for the buyer and you do not disclose it, deliberate concealing information, that too comes within the purview of misleading advertisement. Now, if you convey an express or implied representation which would constitute unfair trade practice, then again, it would come within the purview of misleading advertisement. So I would tell you 4 points. The first is if you give guarantee for something that you know, it's wrong. You give a false guarantee. The second is you mislead a person as to the nature, substance, quantity, and quality of a product or service. You falsely describe something, you conceal something deliberately. You know it is, you should be telling it, and you deliberately don't reveal. Now, who is this you? We are going to see in this. It doesn't mean you who's sitting there, but definitely there are certain stakeholders who are responsible, and who do they constitute is going to be seen in the next upcoming slide. And the next one is if anything is supposed to constitute an unfair trade practice, express or implied representation of the same by a manufacturer or seller or service provider would amount to misleading advertisement. Now, what is unfair trade practice has already been seen in an earlier class, and we will also be dealing with in the forthcoming classes. So I am not going elaborate to the same at this juncture. So please do remember these 4 points. What constitutes misleading advertisement? Giving false guarantee, or you know that this you're concealing or you're misguiding a person with regard to the nature, substance, quality, or quantity. You're supposed to give information, you're concealing the same, you're giving false information with regard to the same. And if you are a manufacturer, seller, or service provider, and if you convey an express or implied representation, then that would definitely constitute an unfair trade practice. Now, who is responsible? Who is responsible for misleading advertisement? The trader or the manufacturer. The second is the endorser. The liability of the endorser is going to be seen right now. The advertiser, the publisher, party to publication, and the manufacturer. Trader, the person who trades. The endorser, the advertiser, the publisher, the manufacturer. Now, there is a term known as party to publication. Now, let me ask you, would a television channel come under the purview of party to publication? Would a newspaper come under the purview of party to publication? Let's wait for judgments to ascertain that point. Whereas the party or publisher, that is the party to the publication, or the publisher can be exempt from liability if he is able to prove that the publishment or this particular thing was the ordinary course of business. That means what exactly the law seeks to impose is that the publisher or the party to publication did not have specific intention or guilty mind. Then definitely the manufacturer. So you see all kind of stakeholders, from the trader to the endorser to the advertiser to the publisher to the party to publisher to manufacturer, owe responsibilities for misleading advertisements. Please do remember: trader, endorser, advertiser, publisher or party to publication, manufacturer. Now there is difference between the term publisher and party to publication. Publisher is the person who publishes, but who exactly is party to publication is definitely a question to be interpreted by the court. Now we talk about endorser. Now she was the first person to have done a commercial ad in India, Leela Chitnis. My beauty secret is a very simple one. I rely on the gentle cleansing of lovely Lux toilet soap. This mild soap keeps my skin beautifully soft and smooth, and its perfume is so refreshing and attractive. Yeah, so these are the ways that our advertisements go on these days. Now, if you take the scenario of 2020, April to July, we see that the leading brand endorsers for the months were the three in the picture. And why do we definitely go for endorsers who are celebrities, either from the field of movie or from the field of sports? Yes, because एक भरोसा होता है. Everyone has a factor of credibility on these people. There's a lot of trust. Definitely, even for the manufacturer or for the person who employs or who makes them endorse for a product, confidence, because yes, they would do the ad well. Not only that, they have a big, huge fan following. So all the fans would definitely adhere to the principles laid down or said, or to whatever statement is made by the ambassador. Similarly, attractiveness like likability, familiarity, similarity of the celebrity with the brand, star power, relationability. अरे यार उसने बोला, she said so, that means it is true. भरोसा. Return on investment. If I invest on this particular advertisement, I should go in for the best person so that I get all the fans or majority of the fans to buy my product, and it should definitely be profitable to me, because every advertisement is definitely money, right? It takes a huge effort and money to be advertising products. We also know, in even to give a small ad on a newspaper, how much of amount it takes. To even give a scrolling advertisement on a reputed television channel, you know what would it cost. So definitely it's big money. So due to all these reasons, they never go in for a small person. They definitely look for celebrities. And now the celebrities have been endorsed with responsibility along with their endorsement. The Act specifically gives responsibility to endorsers. Now we know this case, right? The case where dairy milk worms were found in the dairy milk, and at that time the endorser for the brand was Shri Amitabh Bachchan. Now this is not the first case. We have seen a lot of instances where even accusations were made against the brand endorsers. Now what exactly is endorsement is a question, and that is dealt in under Section 218 of the Consumer Protection Act 2019. With relating to an advertisement, endorsement means any message, comma, verbal statement, demonstration given by the endorsee. Similarly, you see these people signing, right, giving autographs. Mein bharosa. What do you say that? I assure you. Yeah. So depiction of the name or seal of any institution or organization which makes the consumer to believe that it reflects the opinion, finding, or experience of the person making such endorsement. Using the signature of some particular association, organization, saying that even this particular organization believes that. Depiction of the name, signature, likeness, or other identifiable personal characteristics of the individual. Shah Rukh Khan signs and says, I'm for this. So definitely the whole fan followers would definitely believe in him, right? So endorsement just means that, first of all, you stand and you say any message, any statement, any demonstration on any product. Similarly, you sign your name, your signature, or any other identifiable individual characteristic, or you use the name or seal of any institution or organization which makes the consumer to believe that it reflects the opinion, findings, experience of the person making such endorsement. So basically, it could be any person who is giving any message, verbal statement, demonstration. It could be any person who gives the name, signature, or such kind of characteristics revealing that that person also is in favor of this. Similarly, depiction of name or seal of any institution or organization which makes the consumer to believe that it reflects the opinion, finding, or experience of the person making such endorsement. So I stand on behalf of this particular company, and this particular company believes so. This particular organization stands this. We in this particular cricket organization drink this energy drink, etc. So these are all illustrations. Yes. So basically, what is the liability an endorser gets for a misleading advertisement? Now you see the same kind of liability that we saw earlier is applicable for the endorsee actual. The manufacturer, service provider, or the endorsee has 10 lakhs and 2 years at the first instance. For habitual offenders, it is 50 lakh and yes. Now section 20 says that if the central authority upon investigation is convinced that unfair trade practice or there is violation of consumer rights that has happened, then it may pass orders for recalling of the product, which is product or the service which is hazardous, dangerous, and unsafe for the consumers. Similarly, when the product is recalled, definitely the consumers need to be compensated. So reimbursement of prices of goods or sales recalled to purchasers. Definitely there would be purchasers, say wholesale purchaser, retail purchasers, and consumers who definitely buy it from the shops, etc. So all these category of persons have to be compensated by the manufacturer. Now, let us take an illustration of the case of Maggie, wherein you remember around few years back, Maggie introduced oats masala. So the allegations against oats masala was that there was no proper risk assessment and grants of product approval. Similarly, On testing in the laboratory, it was found out that there was 2.5 ppm of lead in excess. Similarly, the package did not contain information about added MSG, no added MSG. So basically, this was misleading to the consumers. And Maggie was asked to recall products worth $50 million and burned the same. And also to compensate the purchasers. Now, that is not just the case of Maggie. When we look into Central Drug Standard Control Organization, is the authority to usually recall drugs from the market. And here is an example of Combiflam, which happened to be a painkiller with a combination of paracetamol and ibuprofen. Now, this was said to not meet the necessity of disintegration test. Now, what is disintegration test? The ability to dissolve, to disintegrate and dissolve, to be absorbed by the body. And therefore, because of the findings of the laboratory, this particular product was recalled by the authority, which was the authority which recalled Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Now, we have also similar other instances, like, for example, we know the Johnson & Johnson's knee replacement surgery equipment. The company was directed to pay to the patients huge lump sum amount of money, and the case is still not yet settled. We have innumerable number of instances which would definitely be delaying our time. So similarly, one thing what has to be remembered is that if the authority, now for example, now we saw Central Drug Authority, we saw this when it comes to certain other laws, the authority is different. Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Similarly, maybe for motor related issues, we have motor vehicle department and allied institutions. Now, the act also gives power to the central authority that after preliminary inquiry, if the central authority is satisfied that this particular matter needs to be dealt with a regulator who is specified in some other law. For example, this needs to be dealt with a motor vehicle related, or maybe under the drug authority, whatever. So then definitely the central authority can refer such matter along with the central authority's report to such agencies. Now, let us take a look into the Motor Vehicles Amendment Act, which came up in the year 2019, wherein certain products can be recalled. The manufacturer has a liability to reimburse the buyers the full cost, replace the defective motor vehicle with another motor vehicle of similar or better specifications, and pay fines or duties made by the central government. Similarly, a manufacturer has to compulsorily inform the central government and initiate recall proceedings. Now, if the manufacturer finds after putting out the product for sale and the manufacturer comes across some particular defect, then it has to inform the central government and make a process for recalling these particular vehicles. Now, this is a sufficient and a compulsory mandate to be informing the central government. Similarly, one more thing is to be noted is that the central government will not initiate fines on the manufacturer who voluntarily goes and recalls the product or mentions the defect in his particular product. So they do not have to be paying the fine. Otherwise, for those who do not voluntarily recall or admit that their particular product is defective, and if defect is identified, then definitely they would be having to face fines. Well, guys, so these are just few concepts with regard to the Consumer Protection Act. Now, if you have any kind of a doubt, you can definitely be asking. In the next forthcoming lectures, we will be going into more detailed specific provisions. So we could just take a recap of our session. So we were talking about what was advertisement. What exactly is advertisement? Yes, advertisement can be in whatever form, in what, through what medium do can advertisement come? How, where all can we find the advertisement? Then we saw that was 2 class 1. 2 class 28, we saw misleading advertisements. What would constitute misleading advertisement? Then we also saw liability of endorser, and then we just saw the concept of recalling of products. Okay, so I think the class is understood, and if you have any queries, please do feel free to contact us. We shall be getting back with the next lecture in a short while. Thank you.